Alright, everybody. So, we're going to try to do a new thing today. I have never done two videos on top of each other, like a react video. And so, we're trying this today and we'll see if it works. I'm just guessing that I'm going to record this whole thing and it's not going to have recorded on the screen or whatever. I'm just guessing that it's going to mess up somehow. But we're gonna do this ranking video. I did this last year, but I think I did it in two pieces. But I read more books, so we're gonna try this and see. Sorry, we're gonna see how we do. Okay, I'm gonna try to not talk too much so that this video is not incredibly long, but it's gonna be a longer one. All right. So the first one we have all of the books we read in 2024. I forgot what year it was for a second. And we're going to place them. We have S, A, B, C, and D. So what I consider S, A, and B as great, obviously S being perfect, pretty much perfect. I think B is like a lot better than people think. I feel like if I put it in B, people get upset. But no, B is great. And then C is it's like good, but like there's some things that were annoying, and then D is the only one that's like I would say is bad. Bad. All right. So the first one is Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane. I'm putting this I would say it's like low S, high A. I'm not sure. I'll put it in A. The only reason is because I'm not much of a horror fan, so the horror pieces are a little hard to get through, but it was absolutely fantastic. So, we're going to turn that off, sorry. So, it was very, very good. But I'm kind of going back and forth. I might pop it back into S there. The next one is Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. Mansfield Park really surprised me. It's a chonker. It's really long, and so I was expecting the pace to be terrible because it was so thick. And Emma is like her second longest, and Emma's pacing was not the best. But I enjoyed Mansfield Park so much. So I'm actually going to put it in S, which is hilarious because I didn't even put it in my top three. But I think I was wrong. I think it was top three. Like, Mansfield Park was very good. And I was surprised because everyone's like, oh, it's the worst of Jane Austen. And I don't even think, I think it's the worst of Jane Austen. I think Northanger Abbey is. So, interesting. All right. So the next book, which I think is supposed to be number 2, I don't know if it did the order wrong. I'm not actually sure if it kept the order. No, it didn't because later is the Ron Wheel of Time. Okay. Apparently it mixed up the order. I didn't even notice. The next one is Earthsea. I felt so disappointed by Earthsea. I was so excited for it. I was pumped. I had seen the movie and I knew that the books were better. And I really I don't know. I liked the movie better. Like the book was really confusing and the traveling bits were not fun, which I was upset by. Like quite a bit upset by. Like the traveling bits were like really boring and everything. Alright, the next two I was very torn on in my bottom 3 list. I couldn't pick between these three, or these two rather. Is The Terminal Man and Andromeda Strain, and I think I put Andromeda Strain below, which I think is correct. They are both very intense. They are both very negative. They're not positive books. They're both very sciencey, which I adore. I loved the science parts. But they both were less memorable than all of Crichton's other works. Crichton's works are normally very memorable, great pacing. I think the pacing in Terminal Man was better. So I think Terminal Man B, Andromeda Strain C is how I'm gonna rank it. Because Terminal Man had a lot better pacing, I feel like they both have pretty annoying endings, so they're both not the best. Um, but Andromeda Strain wasn't as bad as I remembered, but it's a kind of forgettable book, honestly, which is weird because it's like about the virus, which is kind of funny that people like compare it to COVID, but it's like you don't just drop dead like all of a sudden from COVID. Like you like go to the hospital and you can be okay. With with the Andromeda strain, you just like drop dead. So it's like very different. People comparing the two gets me. Gets my goat. It gets my goat. Miss Bourne. I'm gonna anchor a lot of people. Miss Bourne was good. Um, it was not my favorite. I love, love, love. I love the magic system. Very amazing magic system. Don't get me wrong. Magic system was awesome. Didn't like the pacing as much, which I didn't like in Brandon Sanderson's other book that I read, Trust the Emerald Sea. I feel like I just don't like Brandon's pacing, which is weird because people always compare him to Robert Jordan. But I finish Robert Jordan's books so much smoother than I do Mistborn. There was only like one or two Robert Jordan books that like the middle was this slow. But Mistborn and the number two. Excuse me. This is actually not Mistborn 2. The name of the book is The Final Empire. So I don't know why this copy of Mistborn just says Mistborn. Because the title is The Final Empire. I guess they just gave up or something. I don't know. But it's A. I feel like Mistborn is good. Again, the most unique magic system. Which is the same with Tress. Tress has the most unique magic system completely. So it's like, if you want a good magic system, that's where you should go. But I feel like his character work is not as good. This is the problem, is because he like drew inspiration from Robert Jordan. It's really hard not to compare, which I know his fans would probably hate that I'm comparing the two, but the comparison is warranted. Like they have the same style. They have like the avalanche of action at the end, that kind of thing. Um, I've even heard someone call it like the Sanderlanche or something, which I feel like Robert Jordan does it better. But don't don't come at me. He's amazing. Don't start with me. All right, guards. My first Discworld of this year. I adored guards. It was fan-damn-tastic. I don't even think I really have anything negative to say about guards. So that means I think it's first. So I don't even remember what I put first in my top three, but I think guards was on it. So yeah, guards, definitely. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I put this book off for so long because I knew the plot. This is the most annoying thing ever. Like, I knew the plot of several books, just from my brother. Not that he, like, specifically spoiled it, but, like, just him talking about his favorite books. But it was great. It didn't, I don't think it's, like, my favorite book in the world. I think I prefer the humor of Neil Gaiman. As, like, they're both, like, absurdist. Absurd fantasy. Except he's absurd sci-fi. And Neil Gaiman's more absurd fantasy. So, where do I put it, though? That's the problem. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's another one where I'm going between, but S can't have everything. You know, S, my theory is S should be sparse. Like, don't put everything in S. Alright, next we have Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson has been fun. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. However, I don't like first person. I still don't like first person. I still don't like modern brand name things in my fantasy. So this is, I forget what it's called, like high or low fantasy instead of high fantasy. So it's basically like fantasy in our world. And that's not my problem at all. Like, I love low fantasy. Harry Potter's low fantasy. I like low fantasy. That's not my problem. My problem is that, like, they reference, like, brand named things. And it is very more, the language is more teenagery. Harry Potter, I think, like, the vocab is low, but they talk like adults more. And so me being a teacher who works with teenagers, it got a little annoying the way they were talking just because I work with teenagers. I don't think if I was just a random person, I feel like it wouldn't bother me. But because I'm a teacher, I feel like it bothers me. That being said, it's not a bad book at all. So, I good. B. Remember, don't get mad at me if I put stuff in B. B is good. Good book. Okay? Um, and then we have the Narnias. So, it's really hard for me, especially for nostalgia reasons, to not put just like all the Narnias in S. Just like, bam. Like all the Narnias in S. Um, that being said, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put all of them in S. I think I'm going to put The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's so hard because, like, that's where it begins, you know? That was my first. It's everyone's first. I have so many good memories of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I actually was in third grade, and my mom was my teacher when I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I don't think that was my first time, though. But that's, like, my most, like, the one that I remember as my first. These classics are so hard to place. I'm going to put it first of A, and we'll see where it moves to. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, classic. Everyone should read it. I feel like even non-Christians should read it just for the influence it's had in fantasy. But then we have The Horse and His Boy right after it. Which I said I wasn't going to plot everything into S tier. The Horse and His Boy has to go into S tier. It's the best of all the Narnias, in my opinion. It's so special to me. I just saw it in a play form, which was fantastic. The puppetry for the animals was amazing. Yeah, it's so special to me. I just can't put it anywhere else. Alright, Rising Sun. This was the Michael Crichton this year that I loved. Loved, loved, loved. It was like a murder mystery, a lot of cultural things. It was so good. Um, so where do I put it? I think I will put it behind The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I don't think it's a classic, but I enjoyed it so much. So I think that's where it goes. Voyage of the Dawn Treader. It's my second favorite. Narnia. Narnia is so hard to place. um, think it just has to be S. Yeah. See, this is the problem, is I want to put everything in S, but that's not how ranking should go. Alright, next is the Lightning Thief. Is the first Percy Jackson. I think I liked the second one better. I don't know if that's controversial. I don't know what people think of the different Percy Jacksons. I haven't watched stuff because I don't want to get spoiled. But it was still good. I just think that the Sea of Monsters was just slightly funnier than the Lightning Thief. Right. Equal Rights is the other Discworld that I read this year. It was good. It was funny. It's just hilarious to me. Like, me and my mom have such similar reading tastes, but she hates this book. She DNF'd this book. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good book. Um, it's not like Guards is so special. But it's such a good book. Like, I don't see a lot of flaws in this book. Especially the ending. The ending is so cool. It's a little confusing, but it's so cool. So I'm going to put it in A. So there you go. End of A. So it's a very good book. Now comes the book that made me change my entire reading schedule for like the second half of all of 2024. So it has to go in S tier. And now I'm like questioning my order in S tier. It's not as good. Will it go in S tier though? It's fantastic, but it's like not a classic. Can I put it above The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when it's about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? No. Ah, that's so annoying. I I said this was my favorite book of the year, but now I'm questioning that. I loved it. I did love it. Would I rather reread this or reread Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? I'd rather reread this. So it has to go like bottom of S, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard because it's like about the author. So it's like kind of adjacent to it, but it's not. It's not a Narnia book. But I love the love story. I love the family stuff. So yeah, interesting. All right, next, Silver Chair. Silver Chair is a lower Narnia, but it's not. I don't. I like it a lot. Oh wait, no. Next is Prince Caspian. I'm sorry. Prince Caspian is an A book. It's very good. The movie's amazing. By the way, a really good close adaptation, which is very rare. Prince Caspian is a really good adaptation of a book to movie, which is weird because it's like Disney and they did it really accurately, which Disney is not known for accurate adaptations. Um, but The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian were really accurate. And then The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, they like went off the rails and did their Disney thing. It's so funny to me. It's like the other two you made really accurate. What happened? So funny. Random rant in the middle of this video that I shouldn't be doing. Um, Prince Caspian though, that's kind of hard. I think it's better than Equal Rights, but I think Mistborn is better. Definitely. I think I'm good with that. Silver Chair, I liked it way better than I remembered. I did not remember liking this book. I liked it way better than I remembered. But where would I put it? This is harder than you would think. I'll put it top of B. It's a very good book. It has flaws. Some parts are gross. It has like a part that's kind of about cannibalism. I don't think a book about or has cannibalism in it should be higher than B. But it was a lot better than I remembered. The other Mistborn is Will of Ascension. Very good book. I think I did like it better than the first. It was a lot more intense than the first. The first was just kind of fun, discovery kind of book. And then the end was intense, but this book was intense from like the beginning. I don't really like the ending of this book. Everything was great. I don't really like the ending. Where should I put it? I think I'll put it with its brother or sister. Right there, right above it. Magician's Nephew might be my second least favorite Narnia. So I'll put it like here. I'm questioning Terminal Man. I think I'm going to scooch Terminal Man down. Alright, the last three. I don't know why this program just did this. It just like plopped the Wheel of Times together, which is fine. So here are the three. Winter's Heart is where I hit the slog, which I hate that term, but that's where I hit the slog. I read half of it and then stopped, and I'm not joking with you. I put it down for like a year, and then I picked it up, maybe even a year and a half. So I can't put it very high, but it's a Wheel of Time, so it can't go that low. You know what I mean? The lowest Robert Jordan is higher than other people's books. um, it had such a good ending. The most amazing ending ever. Again, Wheel of Time beats other things just by being Wheel of Time. I don't think you understand this if you haven't read it. Wheel of Time is just so special. So I think I'm going to put it top of B. Yeah, top of B. It is so good. The ending is fantastic. And I'm going to do the second to last one first because this is Crossroads of Twilight. It is universally known as the worst Wheel of Time book. So the worst Wheel of Time book I would say is not a D, is a C. I just did audiobook. I zipped through it because I knew that it was sloggy. I knew the problems I had with Winter's Heart. The problem with Crossroads of Twilight have some cool things in it, but like the story doesn't move. It doesn't really progress. Like things happen, but it's not like pushing the story. Characters are kind of left where they were at the beginning, even though things happened. So yeah, C, top of C. It's not the worst book I've ever read. It's like people are dramatic because it's a bad Wheel of Time book, but it's not that bad, guys. It's really not that bad. People talk about it like it's the worst book known to man, but it's just because people were disappointed with it at the time of when it was published. And then Knife of Dreams was the last Wheel of Time that I read. It's the last Robert Jordan book before he passed away. It was so emotional reading this book. So emotional reading this book. And it was beautiful and fantastic. And because the last two were difficult, it made this book feel higher in my ranking because the last two were so low. But this one was like back to Robert Jordan being amazing. You know what I mean? So I have to put it up really high. I don't. Yeah, it might be my favorite. I was wrong. I think I was wrong. I think I said that Once Upon a Wardrobe was my favorite. I think Knife of Dreams was my favorite book that I read. It's crazy to think about that. So yeah, I think that's my ranking. This video was really long, and I apologize, but I think it was fun. It was really fun for me to do. I hope you really enjoy it, and I will see you in 2024. Actually, this will probably go up in 2025. So, Happy New Year's for everyone. This is my favorite time of year is like celebrating this new time of year, and it's just been so much fun. I'm so excited to watch all the tier rankings of all the booktubers. I love watching people rank books, and so this is my ranking. I'm going to post this and hopefully not get crucified for it. Alright, comment down below if you disagree with me. I would love to hear why. And yeah, have a wonderful new year.